Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you this morning. Not going to be too long this morning. I just want to I just want to touch on something. We're going to call this Monday Morning Inspiration today. One thing I can tell you is that throughout life, you're going to encounter all different types of challenges. I call them the vicissitudes of life, these unexpected moments that come into your life that totally shake up your reality or your paradise as you have it set up. You're going, everything seems to be rolling smoothly, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, something hits you that totally knocks you off the base of your foundation, and you're trying to gather yourself and you're trying to determine what you're going to do. You also meet these challenges that are not so grand in the total scope of things that you meet every day, but they're challenges nonetheless, and you are going to have to determine how you deal with them. This is what I can tell you, that all throughout the day, every day, you're making consistently 3 different decisions, no matter who you are. And the first thing that you've got to do is you've got to monitor your inner conversations. Your inner conversations are these conversations that you have with yourself where you're talking to yourself, whether audibly or through your thoughts. And you are assessing your situation. And as you assess your situation, you are basically having a conversation with yourself, and you're creating the reality based on the circumstance. The circumstance is never really meant to create a reality. The circumstance is always meant to bring you to the awareness of a certain reality in your thinking that is producing a certain result so that you can change your thinking. That's what circumstances are. Circumstances are the fruits of your thoughts. When you begin to monitor your thoughts, when you begin to have a new way of thinking, a new way of viewing things, a new way of approaching things, you will develop new habits. You will develop new behavior. You will develop a new perspective and a new approach to life. And that will change the circumstances that you encounter. Now, it will also change the way you interpret circumstances. And so it will change the way you respond to them. All of this is working towards elevating you when you respond correctly. So let's go back very quickly and look at what happens when you hit this challenge, whether it's one of those relatively small challenges that you meet throughout the course of every day, or whether it's one of those more major challenges that come along every now and then that totally shakes you up, that requires you to really get a hold of the situation, take an assessment of what's going on and make the right choice. Well, what I can tell you is throughout life, you're consistently each and every day throughout the day making basically 3 different decisions. Whenever you encounter any situation, good or bad, you're making 3 decisions. The first decision is, what am I going to give my attention to? What am I going to place emphasis on? In other words, every situation has a pro and a con, a plus and a minus. No matter how bad it is, there's something that you can take out of it and create a positive. No matter how good it is, you can look at it negatively. What you give emphasis to is going to determine your path, is going to dictate your direction, and it's going to ultimately be the final influence on the outcome. So a lot of us have a tendency to look at the negative. Something happens. Oh my God, this is terrible. I don't know what I'm going to do about it. This is just awesome. This is just awful. This is going to mess up my whole day. This is going to mess up my whole year. This has just messed up my life. These are conversations we have with ourselves when we encounter things. We've got to be careful about that, because what we're doing is we're telling our subconscious mind, the auto mechanism of our behavior, what this means. And that's the second decision we make. Once we decide what we're going to place emphasis on, are we going to place emphasis on the positive? Are we going to place emphasis on the negative? Are we going to place emphasis on the impact, the negative impact, or the opportunity to do something great out of it? Once we make that decision, that what we're going to place emphasis on, then we got to ask ourselves, what does it mean? That's the second decision that we're going to make. We're going to determine what that means to us. If it means that my day is ruined, then that's the interpretation. That's exactly how we're going to behave. When we meet a challenge, whether it's a daily challenge, a major challenge in life, we are going to determine what we're going to place emphasis on. Some of us are going to place emphasis on the negative. Some of us are going to place emphasis on the positive, which is going to determine the direction we take. Second of all, we're going to interpret what that means. What exactly does it mean? What exactly does it mean? What it means to us is also going to affect the next distance. What does it mean? Some people is going to mean my day is ruined. Some people is going to mean nothing's going to go right for the rest of the day. Some people is going to mean all kind of different negative things. To some people, it's going to mean this is just another challenge for me to rise to the occasion. Some people, it's going to mean this is my opportunity to grow. To some people, it's going to mean out of this will come something great because it's associated with my destiny, and my destiny has already been set by my designer. And so my destiny is set. There's absolutely nothing that can come along that can disturb or take away from my destiny. So then this must be meant to empower me. When you interpret it that way, you engage it with the mindset that I'm going to make something positive come out of this, and you automatically create and emit an energy that's positive, raising your vibrations, all these things working together. Your thought process is creating your reality, your spiritual energy, and the level of frequency that you're operating in is going to determine how things impact you. So when you interpret a bad situation with a positive mindset, you immediately elevate yourself on the spiritual plane through which you're operating, raising your frequency, raising your vibration, and actually inoculating yourself from the negative impact of that particular circumstance. Now you're going to sit up and determine what you're going to do about it. It's not the circumvention of life's vicissitudes and struggles and disappointments and heartaches and pains that produce success. You are not going to circumvent the struggles of life. You're not going to circumvent the pains of life. You're not going to circumvent the disappointments of life. You're not going to circumvent the heartaches of life. Those things are coming no matter where you hide, no matter how much you sit up and seek the corner of comfort, they are coming. What you do when they come, how you interpret them, what you give gravity to, what you're going to do about it is going to determine how successful you are, how much of a life of fulfillment you live, how much of an impact you have on other people's lives. One of the greatest disappointments, no matter what faith you claim, one of the greatest disappointments of any faith is to claim a faith and live a life of defeat. You cannot evangelize from a life of defeat. You cannot win people over to your faith from a life of defeat. Does that mean that you don't meet disappointment? Does that mean that destructive forces don't move against you in your life? No, it means that every time something comes against you, you stand. You interpret it as a part of your destiny. You sit up and you evaluate it and say, okay, there are some things that I'm going to have to get through. There are some things I'm going to have to push through. There are some inner conversations that I'm going to have with myself, in which I encourage myself, which I remind myself of my destiny and my purpose, which I remind myself that my destiny is set, and the very definition of destiny tells me that no matter how hard you try to stop it, you only ensure that it happens, telling me that the outcome has already been written. All I've got to do is walk it out and be firm in my stance and be moving with a positive mindset, with a plan, but more importantly, an unwillingness to stop and give up. One of the things that I have become known for in places that I speak is this real simple mantra. It says, no surrender, no retreat. I live my life by that. Does it mean I haven't ever gotten knocked off? Man, I've been knocked flat on my back. I mean completely knocked on my back where everyone counted me out. Yet here I am. Why? Because no surrender, no retreat. I told God if I'm breathing, I'm going to get up. I told God the moment that I got knocked on my back, I said, I don't expect to get delivered out of this. This is a part of the journey. I'm not going to get delivered out of things that I've been sent to deal with. You don't get delivered from the giants God sent you to slay. Stop looking for that. Stop praying for that. Stop meditating on that. Stop seeking that. That's not going to happen. You were designed for greatness. Greatness comes by meeting great situation and great resistance and and persevering, pushing through and accomplishing that thing for which you have set out and been sent to do. That's how greatness is achieved. You were designed for greatness. You can't hide from it. You can't run from it. And you're definitely not going to be able to convince the creator and the designer that sent you that you can be delivered and rescued from it. That's not going to happen. Where it happens is where you stand up and you decide that you're going to move out into this thing and that you're going to take control of your destiny, that you're going to take control of your life, and that delay does not mean denial. So what? It's been 2 years. So what? It's been 4 years. So what? It's been 5 years. What you are going to have to make up in your mind is that there's no distance that you're not willing to go, that you're willing to go the distance to have what is actually a part of your designed destiny. But watch those inner conversations that you're having with yourself. Those things where you're you're writing the narrative of your life with the conversations, the ideations that you're having with yourself in the innermost part of your being, where you're telling yourself stories. Are you telling yourself that you can't win for losing? Are you telling yourself that this is just another blow and this is going to be horrible, that you can't make it, that suffering is your lot in life? Let me tell you something, and I'm going to end it on this note. Suffering is not your lot in life. Stop believing that it's God's will for you to suffer. Suffering is not your lot in life. Suffering is a choice. While pain cannot be avoided, while the disappointments and struggles of life cannot be avoided, suffering is a choice. It is a choice to sit up there and wallow in a moment of despair rather than picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, standing yourself up, raising up your chin, sticking out your chest, squaring your shoulders, and going out and getting what belongs to you in life. You're going to get knocked down. People are not going to like you. People are going to talk behind your back. People are going to wish for your demise. Get used to it. But what you cannot do is wallow in it. That's suffering, when you wallow in the misery of the moment. It's a moment. That's all it is. It's an event. It's not the journey. It's an event. Stand up, dust yourself off, square yourself up, stand up and move forward. Some of you have met misery in life and decided to camp out there. That's not where you find greatness, camping out in misery. Misery is a moment that is there to shake you so that you don't become complacent, to shake you so that you don't try to seek docility, to shake you so that you don't settle for less than what you were meant to be. Misery is not your lot in life. Suffering is not your lot in life. Stop living and wallowing in the moment of misery. Get up, dust yourself off, and move forward. Every last one of you were designed with greatness in mind. But many of you have bought the stories of the minimal minded who love to whisper the sweet nothings of negativity in your ear, telling you that all you will ever be is, that you will never do anything but, that all you can do is. You have bought the lies of others who have accepted mediocrity as their lot in life, and now you're residing with them and you think you can find comfort in it, and you consistently run into misery, consistently run into pain, consistently run into disappointment. The very things you were trying to circumvent are finding you anyway, and the difference is you're not getting anything out of it but beat up. If I'm going to have to fight anyway, if I'm going to meet resistance anyway, if I'm going to have to go against opposition on a daily basis anyway, I'm going after it all. I'm fighting. I'm coming all out. I'm going the distance. I'm going to have to fight anyway. Life is not going to lay down for me. Me sitting up going into a corner of comfort doesn't produce anything for me but an illusion that constantly gets shaken up every time the vicissitudes of life roll in. And because I've taken a passive approach, I don't have the things within me to engage those vicissitudes when they come. I just sit there and keep hoping that they pass. Take control of your life. Look, I love you guys. Hopefully what I shared with you helped. I'm about to jump off of here. Got a lot to do. I'm going to stop by and holler at you a little bit later on about some things that are going on. But in the meantime, you guys are going to have to take control of your destiny. If you're in the Houston area, come out tonight to the Holy Temple Church of God in Christ on 8207 Brandon Street in Sunnyside, where I'm teaching the financial literacy 101 course. It's free. And I guarantee you, it's not a one-on-one course. This is nothing basic. This is the course that if you can master the principles that I'm going to be giving you, you can take control of your financial life. And that's the beginning of taking control of your destiny. When you don't have to depend on somebody else consistently to do for you, to give you a job, to give you what you need to provide for your family, you'd be surprised at the decisions you're able to make that are not popular but beneficial. I love you guys. I'm out of here. As I always say, I'm a down E and loving every minute of it.